Hello and welcome to my channel. Today, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about some important points that we always miss out while developing a website or any system, not only a website, basically, any system that we always miss out. Most of the developers basically miss out on those kind of facts. So, today is actually Global Accessibility Awareness Day, and I think. This in this day basically we must be aware of one thing, that is about the issues with the accessibility for people with special abilities. So let's talk what is this day about. I'm not going to make this video a very long video, just to give you a gist and hint what how we can do this thing. So let's understand what you mean by accessibility. Uh, suppose, God forbid, but suppose if I am going through any kind of disability and I want to like access a specific kind of website, or basically I'm talking about websites here, and which for that I need some special devices or special needs or special kind of you know visual display which will make uh, you know my accessing of that website very easy. So that's the point in this kind of things. So that is the main idea here. Okay, so I will show you some examples. Let's go through this website once and what they are talking about. Okay, so it is again, today is May 20, and this marks as the 10th, it's the 10th Global Accessibility Awareness Day, and the purpose is to get everybody aware of and talk about this kind of things. Okay, so let's see what it says. Basically, I'm just going to read out and I'm going to just give you a basic awareness about it. Okay, so what is digital accessibility? So it basically talks about digital accessibility. Is not should be about digital, it should be about any kind of system, whether the system is a building, whether its system is a offices, anything. Okay, so it should be accessible to everybody. Okay, no matter what that person's physical ability is, physical and even mental ability, I will say. Okay, because we don't talk about mental health nowadays. Anyway, so it's every user deserves a first-rate digital experience on the web. That's the most important thing. It should be, equal for everybody. That everybody should be available to access the websites, web pages, any kind of services that the system provides, no matter regardless of what kind of physical ability you have. Someone with a disability must be able to experience the web-based services. Yes, that's right. Content and other digital products with the same successful outcome as those without disabilities. Okay, so this awareness is this awareness and commitment to inclusion is the Global Accessibility Awareness Day. Okay, so this is very important for the developers, as most of the developers don't think about this part of it. We make website, we don't follow certain rules like WCAG and all those things, and we make the website just like that. And I will show you a very beautiful website that has maintained all the WCAG guidelines very beautifully. Okay, so what is the state of accessibility right now? If you see, 98.1% of the web pages are home pages. Okay, so has at least WCAG 2.0 failure. Okay, so this is a parameter. What is WCAG? Let's do a Google. Okay, if you don't know anything, you always do a Google. Okay, so this web content accessibility guidelines, it has some specific points, and it has specific guidelines which you should follow. I'm not getting into the details of it. We have a lot of things, like every image should have something, alternative text, it should have some audio, screen readers, and all those kind of things, specific kind of contrast, but I'm not going to talk about that. And if you see, it does have at least one, and that's really very basic, because it has a huge checklist and not everything is possible to complete. But yes, slowly everybody is right now getting aware, and we are going to complete that thing. And if you see that 60.9 average number of errors, there are 60.9 errors. Okay, so I will say 70, 61. I will say 61 errors are there in the home pages. Error doesn't mean that the web page is not running. The error means that it has not maintained the guidelines properly. Okay, so what are the most basic issues that has been seen in the home pages or any web pages that you will be able to find it out? So the most basic thing is that low contrast text. Okay, low contrast means if I open a web page and I am not able to view the texts properly, and I can see that this text, for example, this text, when I am selecting it, it should become blue and white. It should not become blue and dark blue. If it becomes dark blue, then I will not be able to see it properly because it is not giving high contrast. Okay, so contrast not always made. I think this is the part of the graphic designer who should maintain this kind of things. Okay, then yes, missing alternative text, what I was talking about. Every image, for example, this image should have an alternative text. Okay, so I'm not seeing it. I'm not going to do a checklist on this website. I hope they have maintained it. And there are few things where they have no links at all. Missing form input level. For example, if you are having a form and all the forms should have a label attached to it, so that a user who is just using tabs and headphone, and he or she is visually impaired, I think that person must be able to listen to that what is there beside that text box, that label. Is it a name, is it a first name, is it a password, or what it is? Okay, and that's a very important thing. And we also have something called empty buttons. All right, so, and also missing document language. For example, this if you take any website, you should always mark that the language, so you can see that lang is equals to enus. So if I make it as something Hindi, Bengali, Tamil, whatever language we speak basically, so that language can be changed, and that thing can be changed in screen readers can speak out the specific language. Yeah, local language and vernacular language are very tough to right now incorporate into the screen readers, but slowly we are achieving it. And you can see there is a huge population which is affected by inaccessibility. Because suppose if I am having a system, a university system or a government system, and we have to digitalize everything, and right now digitization is very important because we have to have records of very high data. But if I don't think about this population who is living with disability, some kind of disabilities, then that system is not accessible to those people, and that is a big concern, right? So what should be done is, like, we should think about the rights of those people. It's a human right issue. It's not just a issue of accessibility or guidelines kind of thing. It's a human right issue, and we should think about human rights, every human being. Okay, so like, we have common basic, I will say, these disabilities or impairments that people face. We have visual, we have hearing issues, we have motor diseases, like people cannot move their arms or legs, need a special kind of keyboards or something like that. I will show you a very interesting video, by the way, that is going to boost up the idea. Okay, and seriously, it's a very beautiful video. I really like that video a lot. Okay, and there are obviously mental health issues like cognitive issues and everything. People with photo epilepsy or that kind of thing that can really we have a lot more kind of disabilities, just not this. So okay, so accessibility removes the barriers and unlocks the possibilities. That is important. Okay, so obviously I will show you a very nice video that will obviously give you an idea how accessibility can the idea of few engineers working on accessibility has changed a person's life. So obviously that person is not I'm not normal. That person has been an inspiration to me itself when I was learning music basically. So I will talk about that. Okay, and let's see what it is. It is Jason Baker. Jason Baker is a very renowned guitarist, and I think people who are not into music will not know it, but I think everybody should watch this movie. This movie is a very beautiful movie, and I think people should watch it. Let me see which trailer was a better one, and let me watch it. I think the audio is going to come up. I don't know. Okay, the desktop audio is not coming up. I think so.
The S-E-X sexiest M-A man alive.
There was an issue with the recording.
There was no
A-D ladies, A-N-G-E gentlemen, T-H-I. This is Jason Becker, T-H-E the S-E-X sexiest M-A man alive.
There was nobody better than that dude. He was on another level.
When people would hear him, they'd turn their head and go, "What the heck was that?"
But he wouldn't just play a Bach piece. He could set a guitar on his lap and play it that way. Jason was on his way to becoming a really big rock star.
He was gonna just take over the world.
And that's when Jason told us his leg was kind of bothering him.
He just had been limping for a while, and we finally talked him into getting it checked out at Kaiser in LA when he was there, and that's when all the trouble started.
We believe he's got Lou Gehrig's disease and he has 3 to 5 years to live. I think his answer was, am I going to be able to tour?
Eventually he needed crutches, then a wheelchair. Then it just got to where, he'd drop the guitar, he couldn't even hang on to it.
When he was really sick, he was really thin and really pale. It was a different person.
It never surprised me that if there was a way to keep making music, he would. His mind frame was, well, no, I gotta have stuff to do, so I just have to go do it. And so we created a system to allow Jason to be able, using just his chin, sort of one click at a time, to be able to enter in the notes.
God, he just kept working. It happened so young, and he just still had a life to live, and he wanted to live it. That's when I invented the sign language for him. Basically, it's an eye geometry. Every letter of the alphabet has 2 eye movements.
I'm going to pause here a little bit. What he is doing, like he is using his gestures from his eyebrows to create music. Okay, so he has a disease called ALS. It's a motor neuron disease, which is unfortunate to have, but still he hasn't given up doing music. So we can see how he is doing it. He is using a MIDI keyboard to write music in the form of MIDI, and he's using this using his eyebrows and chin movements to write down the music piece.
How did you do this? I was just floored.
it's a much bigger reason than anybody out there knows why he's still here. But he's still here.
Thank you. All right, I think the video is over right now, and this is a very nice video, and we should always think about these things, and we should basically see that whatever happens in life, we should not give up. Anyway, it is not easy always. It takes a lot of courage and a lot of strength in order to get back to where and start back again. Anyway, so this is the basic idea of how some beautiful engineers have used the idea of gesture control and making music. And it is really not an easy task. Making music with ALS disease is not an easy task. By the way, let's see what an ALS disease is. Okay, ALS disease. Disease. Okay, so this is the disease. Okay, and this is something that uses muscle weakness, and you lose your motor neuron activities and everything. Okay, this is a very tough thing in order to understand. Anyway, so I'm not getting into the details of the disease. It's pathetic. It's very tough to discuss. Anyway, all right, so this is the idea how accessibility removes barriers. So you can see that the barrier has been removed for Jason Baker, and he's been making music still right now, where situations like this makes people quit what they love to do. Okay, so I think this is very important when we are designing any kind of system. We should talk about accessibility. I think the video is getting very long, and let me talk about a very beautiful website that I have came across. This is a website of something Israeli university. They call it BGU. I cannot properly pronounce it. Ben Gurion University. Anyway, it's a website from the Israel actually. So I'm not going to talk anything about the current situation, but I'm going to talk about this website right now. How beautifully they have created this website. So it's not about just the website. You have this beautiful button here that gonna give you a lot of dimensions in the idea of accessibility. So you can see that there is something called a screen reader adjustment. You have voice commands, you have text reader, you have high dark contrast. So like I can use something like this kind of things, and I can just click on this, and you can see that high dark contrast, how it is going to beautifully use that. Okay, you can use bright contrast. You can see how, or you can use something called monochrome. For example, I am sensitive to colors. There is a kind of issues which is when people are sensitive to colors, they are unable to view things properly. Okay, so you can use something called the monochrome idea, and you can also use something called the readable font. This is the readable font. If you don't use the readable font, monochrome options. Okay, I am not colorblind, and I think I can. Yeah. Just turned on, turned off. Okay. Alright, so you can see it is colorful now. I can use the readable font, readable tone option on. It is becoming large. Okay, readable means it's coming up in a proper way, or you can increase the font size. You can see I can increase the font size, I can decrease the font size. Okay, and I have a lot of other options like a large white cursor. So for this cursor, I can make it as a large black cursor. You can see how I can see where the cursor is going up. You have magnifiers. You have this. I think all websites should have this kind of adjustments. And I don't know how they have created it, because I am not into web development. But I can see this is blinks. So, for example, if somebody is having photo epilepsy, that is like blinking. For example, this image is changing with some time frame. So I can block this blinking. Okay. And this will not happen. Okay, that's a very beautiful thing that they have added. Okay, and we have something called keyboard navigation, and I don't know how it works, but I have to get into it. But I will see it. Screen reader adjustments and a lot of things that you have it here. So anyway, so you can see, okay, main content, main menu. You have recommended links and all these things, and I think I can use the keyboard arrow buttons, which was not possible. Normally, what people do is just click on tabs. I am using the arrow buttons here, and it is really getting into the things. It is really a beautiful way that they have, used this website, and I can press the escape button. Yes, escape button to close it, and screen reader adjustment, keyboard navigation, and we can, I think, come back with this. Yeah. All right. So this is the thing that they have created, and seriously, I think every website should have this. So highlighting headers, for example, like every website. Okay, I should switch this off. Yeah. Okay, so every website should have this kind of feature, I think. Okay, so once they can click on it, for example, you're on mobile phone, you can click on it and we can start. Oh my god, the video is too long today. Alright, so I think I should stop now, and I think you should go into this website, this little link, and in.bgu.ac.il, and I think we should learn how to create this kind of beautiful accessible things. Let me see if they have a web page kind of thing. Source. Do they have any kind of accessibility, XUA compatible? We have to get into the code actually to find out how they are using this kind of accessibility widget kind of thing, I will say. So obviously I'm curious right now how they are doing it. Type and fix Excel code, machine sciences, JavaScript, Alright, I think I should stop now, and I will be stopping this presentation here, and please aware your friends, your developers friends who are into computer science. Talk about this. We need to talk. We need the awareness going on. Thank you very much. Thank you. Stay safe. Stay healthy. Goodbye.